What's up, everybody? Charlie Marlow here. Got to weigh in on this Dave Portnoy versus Ohio State deal. Normally, I don't talk about this media on media crime type stuff, but I think this is pretty funny, and it's kind of right up my alley being an Ohio State fan. First of all, if you haven't heard, Dave Portnoy of Barstool Sports, they got the deal with Fox now. He's not allowed in the Horseshoe this Saturday for Ohio State and Texas. Now, at first, it was reported that Ohio State banned Dave Portnoy. But then you have another report now where it was Fox Sports' decision to not allow Dave Portnoy in the building. Let's be real. Let's be 100% honest. Was this really Fox's call? Didn't Fox know that Ohio State, Ryan Day, didn't want Dave Portnoy inside the shoe, shitting on Ohio State like he normally does? So I don't care how it went down, right? Ohio State made this call. Let's be real. At the end of the day, though, I think it's fun. I think it's good for business. Now, this is the biggest game in college football, maybe of the whole season, honestly, and it's opening week. Ohio State, Texas, two teams that could win the national championship. So it's not like it's 1 versus 3. It's not like this game needed any hype, but to me, this is all part of the show. It's like a boxing match, right? Dave Portnoy was trending yesterday on Twitter. Everybody's talking about this. And by the way, I don't even know how Big Noon Kickoff's show goes. I don't really watch any of the kickoff shows. I know a lot of people watch College Game Day. So does Big Noon Kickoff, do they go directly up against College Game Day? I have no freaking clue. So let me know. But again, not like you needed hype for this matchup, but you got even more. It's what everybody's talking about entering the game. And look, so Dave Portnoy is not going to be there. You know he's going to be all over social media, helping kind of blow this whole thing up. I think this is really good for business. And I get it. Ohio State, I think Ohio State really didn't want him there. But in the grand scheme of things, I think overall it's good for the game. It's good for the promotion of the game. It's good for Fox Sports, actually. And it's good for the rivalry with Michigan. And I've always said this, by the way. Now, Dave Portnoy, I'm kind of neutral on him. At first, when he came on the scene, this is years ago, I didn't really like him. But then he's starting to kind of grow on me and what he did during COVID with small business. Then he starts to say a lot of things, and I agree with him, but also he seems to be kind of a dick. But then is that for show? Is a lot of that for show? Because Barstool, it's essentially reality TV. So is he playing it up to be the mean boss man? Whatever it is, again, I don't know. I don't really care even. But Dave Portnoy is really good for the Ohio State-Michigan rivalry. He just is. He's funny. And let's just be real about it. Michigan has owned Ohio State for the last 4 years. They didn't play, obviously, during COVID because Jim Harbaugh is a you-know-what. So Ohio State hasn't beaten Michigan since what? 2019. So Michigan has owned the rivalry. But Dave Portnoy is good for the rivalry. He really is. Even if you're an Ohio State fan, you got to admit, he's good for the rivalry. And look, even though the Wolverines have kicked Ohio State's ass the last 4 years, remember, there was a 10-year span where this rivalry didn't mean anything. We're talking about, I guess that would be what? End of Tressel, all of Urban Meyer, beginning of Ryan Day, whatever the amount of years. It was like 10 years. I mean, that wasn't even a big game anymore because Michigan sucked. Let's be real. And now Michigan's good. So is Ohio State. A couple of those games have been very, very, very close. So the rivalry's back and it's all good. And in the grand scheme of things, even though I'm an Ohio State fan, I have to chuckle. I laugh at a lot of the things that Dave Portnoy says about Ohio State and the rivalry. And overall, he's good for business. And look, Ohio State, they do look soft. I'm sorry. They just won the national championship. Can't take that away from the Buckeyes. But you do look soft. Not allowing Dave Portnoy in the building, it's a bad look. I will kind of say, though, I'm interested to see how Dave Portnoy is on these pregame shows because he goes off, right? And he swears and he uses language that typically you wouldn't see from hosts on these pregame shows or postgame shows. So I wonder how much of that is actually going to take place with Fox when he's at these other venues. Also, now I'm going off on a tangent here. Look, I'm sure Portnoy, Barstool Sports, just making a ton of money off this Fox deal. But it also, to me, speaks to the fact that, I mean, they're independent media, but they're big time. I mean, Barstool Sports, obviously, they're big time. But in the end, when you put independent media with the corporate suits and the corporate partners, billion-dollar TV packages, obviously Ohio State, arguably the most important school in the Big Ten. Probably they are the most important school in the Big Ten. So Fox doesn't want to piss them off. It's just tough to marry those two together. Independent media, they want to swear, they want to talk about controversial stuff, they want to shoot from the hip like Dave Portnoy does, and then marrying that with Fox Sports and billion-dollar TV deals and corporate partners and all that. So it'll be interesting to see how that goes. Remember they did the thing with ESPN years ago, the Barstool Van Talk, and it didn't last past an episode or so. And by the way, I'm not trying to compare myself in any way, shape, or form, but I do feel like since I went on my own and Kenny Wallace, our own independent deal, just to be able to kind of say whatever you want and never have to worry about a boss or a company or a sponsor getting mad, it is very freeing. But then again, you're going to take the check, right? I mean, if Fox Sports comes calling with a multi-million-dollar deal for Barstool Sports, and I'm sure that's whatever that deal is, it's got to be 10 figures. I don't know how many years it is, but it's a huge deal. Let's be real. Also, you go and take the check, but then things like this happen where Dave Portnoy is not allowed in the building. I want to hear from all you. What do you think? By the way, please, in St. Louis here, hook up my sponsors. Triad Bank, best thing I ever did for my rental property business, taking all my commercial loans from a big national bank that didn't care about me to a local customer service relationship-based bank in Triad Bank. They're the best. My guy, Matthew Tobin, been working with him for about 6 years, whatever it is. Also, St. Louis Lawn Care, St. Louis Equipment, St. Louis Lawn Care for your lawn care needs. They'll mow. They got mulch, mosquito, bug control, aeration this time of year, overseeding. St. Louis Equipment, buy a mower, get your mower repaired. Small engines. I have a Crest battery-operated trimmer. I have a Husqvarna blower I bought from STL Equipment. They are fantastic. So there you go. Ohio State, Texas, Dave Portnoy. It's good for business. It's good for the rivalry. It's all fun and games, but Ohio State does look weak. Ohio State, they won the national championship. You just got to beat Michigan. You got to beat Michigan this year. I mean, beat Texas first. But beat Michigan. You got to shut all these people up. That's the only way Ohio State can shut all these people up is to beat Michigan this year. But first of all, beat Texas. OHIO, horns down, boom. Charlie Marlow signing off.